Hey guys, Mr. T here in another video. This one's on the quadratic formula. So we've been doing some really tedious methods of solving quadratics using factorization, some algebra that we've done before. But obviously many quadratic equations are not going to be able to be solved easily using these methods. They rely on numbers sitting well with you, or sometimes you might freak out during a test and just need another alternative. Ultimately, you can use the quadratic formula to solve for x. So the quadratic formula is such. Well, this is the quadratic formula here. X is equal to, I'm not going to read that out. How do I read that? You literally just apply this formula. If your quadratic is in this situation, ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, so you've made it equal 0, and a is not 0, then you can solve for x by plugging in these numbers, these coefficients, into this formula. Make sure you deal with the negatives properly, okay? And realize that the plus and minus means that you're going to have two different solutions. So in this way, you simply find the coefficients, whatever a, b, and c are in your given quadratic equation, and substitute them into the quadratic formula. So you work out what a, b, and c are and plug them into there. So a goes into there, b, c, etc., and solve for x, realizing that there's going to be a couple of solutions because there's a plus and minus sign there. So let's see how this works in practice. X squared take 2x take 2 is equal to 0. So that is in this form that we need. A is therefore 1, b is negative 2, c is negative 2. So now, like I said, you need to plug that into the quadratic formula. So x is going to be negative b, and b is negative 2, so it's double negative, plus minus square root of b squared is negative 2. So you'll notice whenever I've got a negative number, I put it into brackets so I don't mess it up. That's just a good practice for you, okay? You should always do that. Take 4 lots of A. Pretty much when I substitute something, I put it into brackets so that you know that needs to be dealt with first. 4A times by C, and C is negative 2, also in brackets. All divided by 2 lots of A, which is 1. Alright, so BEDMAS means we need to deal with brackets first. Negative times by negative 2 is going to be 2. Plus or minus square root of negative 2 squared is going to be 4. Negative 4 times by 1 is negative 4. Times by negative 2 is going to be positive 8. Over 2 times by 1 is 2. We still need to simplify because there's actually brackets under here. 2 plus or minus 4 plus 8 is 12 on 2. And then that's not fully simplified. If you've done surds before, if you're in 10A, then you would understand how to simplify that square root of 12. But basically, I'll show you here anyway. It's simple enough. It's like simplifying fractions. Square root of 12 is the same as square root of 4 times by square root of 3 divided by 2. Now square root of 4 is an actual number, it's 2. So you can simplify it to be 2 times by square root of 3 on 2. And then you have 2 terms up here, 2 and 2 lots of square root of 3. They cancel down because they all have factors of 2 in them, so it's going to be x is equal to 1 plus or minus square root of 3 cancelled by that divided by 2 underneath. So the answer, your solution's either going to be x is equal to 1 plus root 3 or 1 take root 3. Alright, so that's the first that you've seen the application of the quadratic formula. Let's try the next one. hopefully I can remember that formula up there. Alright, we need to work out what the coefficients are. A is 2, B is 3, C is negative 4. So the quadratic formula is x is equal to negative b. So negative b, which is 3, plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is 3. Take 4 lots of a, which is 2, times by c, which is negative 4, divided by 2 lots of a, which is 2. Alright, so same as before, solving what we can. Negative times by 3 is negative still, plus or minus the square root of 3 squared is 9. Negative 4 times by 2 is negative 8, times by negative 4 is positive 32, divided by 2 times 2 is 4. So x is going to be negative 3 plus or minus. So working my way through, what's 9 plus 32? Square root of 41 over 4. Now, 41 is like a prime number. It doesn't cancel down anymore. There's no numbers other than 41 in itself that I can break that down into, so that stays. There's no other cancelling we can do, so that's your solution. Negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 41 all over 4. So you could write it long ways if you wanted, but you can. This is acceptable. It's x is equal to negative 3 plus root 41 all over 4, or x is equal to negative 3 take root 41 all over 4. Two solutions again, because there's a plus or a minus sign. So that's a trickier looking one, but it's just an application of formula. Hopefully that helps you out, and I will see you in the next video.